Hello, welcome to Place in the Sun Revisited. My name's Liz Rowlinson, editor of Place in the Sun, and I'm here with Jan and Bill in Chorley. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
How are you?
Well, good, thanks.
Good, thank you.
Excited to getting back out to Spain again.
Well, yeah, we're going to hear all about it in a sec, but to anyone who hasn't just tuned over from the episode, Jan and Bill were looking in La Zenia in Spain area for a property, a holiday property for £85,000. They were only out filming in July, which is quite a recent one for us. So we're going to hear all about what happened. But just before we, thanks for agreeing to have a chat with us about what happened. But before we go into sort of have a look at a clip, guys, just talk to can you just take us back a bit to sort of what La Zenia is such a popular area of Spain. What made you gravitate to that area? Because I think you've got family.
My parents had a villa in Cabarroy, and we watched. My dad bought a plot of land. We watched it being built. It was very much a family project. He made us, as soon as we could, speak in Spanish. He made us drive on the wrong side of the road. We were just embedded into the Spanish culture. And obviously when my dad sold it, we were absolutely heartbroken. They had it for about 12 years. It was always an ambition to get something over there. And then obviously when I met Bill, and we decided that we wanted...
Well, one of the things we had in common that we both liked sort of that area. Mine was a bit more the Marminot way.
Yes.
Spent a lot of time sort of Lost Our Castles way, golfing, the holidays, etc. And so knew that area pretty well. So I liked Marminot, but it wasn't far away. So we both had the same interest. We'd like to get somewhere over there in pretty much a similar area. So that sort of built up the conversations that we had about should we buy a place in Spain.
Yes. Brilliant. And of course there was a sad passing of your mother, was it, Bill?
Yeah, it was my mother. November the 15th last year.
But ironically, the last time we saw her was November the 8th, which is the date, obviously, of the filming, the episode.
Well, she'll be looking down, we hope, at what we're going to hear about. So let's have a look at a clip of the intro to the programme.
Jan and Bill, welcome to the southern Costa Blanca.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. So nice to be here.
I was going to say, are you pleased?
Oh, so excited.
Well, do you know what?
Looking forward to it.
You guys just kind of ooze excitement and good energy.
We have.
You do?
We have. We've got bags of energy for this.
How long have you been planning this?
Actually, it was in the first 10 minutes of meeting that we'd established we wanted a place in Spain.
So you met up, 10 minutes later you were looking for property.
That's it, yeah, the tablet was out.
Why this area? That's what I want to know.
Oh, Ben, my mum and dad had a villa in Cabarroy.
Yeah.
And we had lots and lots of family holidays. In fact, at the time, we were coming out in every school holiday. School finished at 4, we were at the airport for 6 o'clock. My dad was very family orientated and it was quality time, and that's what we want to do for both of our families.
Yeah. Let's talk about the property, because that is why we're here. Okay.
It is.
What is your budget for it?
75k.
Okay.
We're looking at that. We've put aside a 10k.
Little buffer.
Okay? Little buffer in there, so we can safely move around that 75k.
Well, that's good. So for that 75 to 85,000 pounds, what is it we're looking for? What are you hoping to find?
2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
And if the icing on the cake would be 2 bathrooms.
That's the ideal.
Okay. Lots of space, particularly on the outside. We're party animals. We love a good barbecue.
We love a good party.
Communal pool. But one of the most important things is to be near amenities.
Okay, then. That sounds good. What are you hoping for, community-wise?
We need to learn the language. I want to be I want to be swimming, I want to be walking, I want to learn to dance.
You up for this dancing, Bill?
Well,
Yeah, of course
I'm
he
good
is.
at dancing with my 2 left feet, yeah.
I've got the scoop on what it is you're after.
Good.
You sound like you're raring to go.
Let's do it.
Well, exactly. Come on.
So tell us, how did you had you? I mean, obviously, Jan, you know a bit about property down there from your experience, but had you actually started looking around? How did you end up going on the TV program?
Well, I've been looking every day for 2 years and pestering Bill because I thought if I'll just grind him down until he agrees, you know. And then I remember it was a Saturday night and I'd had a couple of glasses of wine and I saw it on Facebook and I just knew as I applied that we were going to get on. So I sent it off. Went into the lounge and said, Bill, we're going on Place in the Sun. And he was like, you are?
Of course we are.
And I just knew that we were going, don't ask me why, I just knew it was going to happen. It was meant to be. And it did.
Wow. I mean, they do love an interesting backstory as well, and you've certainly got that. And you're such a sort of, the enthusiasm is very infectious about your project. So then you got the call up. Then you had to go for a screen test. How did it work?
That was a Zoom call. Yeah, that was over Zoom. And I think that lasted about 40 minutes. There was 2, I can't remember the names of the ladies, but there were 2 ladies there. And we were having a conversation pretty much similar to this about how the build up, what we were looking for, where we were looking for it, what made us get to that position, where are we financially and be able to buy, all the sort of leading questions to, are you really genuinely looking to buy or not, kind of thing. So that was a Zoom session for about 40 minutes, something like that, in that sort of time scale. And then at the end of it, they did say, right, we'll be cutting this down, editing it down to about 90 seconds, and then sending it out to see whether we get a tick in the box to go ahead with filming.
Brilliant. And it's always, I was talking to Jasmine at our recent show in Glasgow, it's always the woman that's actually the one that's persuading her partner or husband to go on the show, because often the man is a little bit more reticent about it.
I wouldn't say that.
No, he wasn't. He was really
I'm quite happy
well
to be
up
on
for
it.
it.
Yeah, no problem with it. Jan did all the work, sort of putting the application and everything and driving it forward, but I was more than happy at everything else.
Are you going
to
to be prepared for being recognised in the supermarket, Bill, and everything? Because we keep hearing once your episode goes out, you're going to get a lot of people coming up to you and saying, we saw you on the TV.
Well, Jan's been telling virtually everybody we've ever met since that we're going to be on anyway. So the last few days she's been busy texting the world that it's on November the 8th. So yeah, I'll be surprised if anybody doesn't know already.
Brilliant. All right, well, let's have another look at a clip. We're going to have a look at property 1.
So look, we got to start this house tour at the pool.
Oh,
Wow.
Look, come right in and enjoy it.
Oh, it's a lovely pool,
It's
yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
It's a highlight, isn't it, the pool? I think
Definitely,
and the
it's one of the must-haves.
especially for the grandkids.
Yep,
Yeah,
certainly
and
is.
it's a nice size for children as well,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, that was one of the reasons for bringing you here, because of the setup with the pool and the play part. There's a cafe in the gardens as well, which is great.
Wow.
A 15-minute walk maximum to the beachfront there. Within 30 minutes drive of here, there are about 10 to 15 golf courses.
Wow.
So that's
We've moved in.
Yeah.
I've not even seen the house yet. Oh, Ben.
Glad you're pleased,
Excellent.
because the house is literally just over there on the other side of the road.
Wow.
You're kidding.
Let's go and have a look at the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
Oh, Ben.
Oh, Ben. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
this is
delivered
good.
here. Yeah. Wow. It's awesome.
I take it you like it.
First property
You
as well.
like it?
That feeling
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
here.
No, it looks good. It's really great.
Wow, Ben.
Oh, brilliant. And you've got all this outdoor entertainment.
That's it, the whole
I mean,
space
the
here.
barbecue.
You've got your 2 beds, you've got your 2 bathrooms.
Get in there.
Bathroom.
Get in there now.
She doesn't even care about the price.
2 bathrooms.
Blow the price. Let's just take
Oh,
it, shall
Ben,
we?
come on.
Right, we are pushing the budget a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
But it's still within. It's just under £82,500.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All good?
Yes.
Let's go inside. Call me crazy, but I have a sneaking suspicion that they like it. As well as the communal pool and the private patio at the front, which were both big hits, the house has a roof terrace too. Inside is a bright lounge diner and separate kitchen. There are 2 double bedrooms, one of which has its own balcony. And there are the all-important 2 bathrooms, one downstairs, one upstairs. Come on there, Jan. I know you want to get inside. Wow.
Oh,
Wow, man. Is this?
Ben.
Yeah?
I wanted that feel good,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm
And
getting.
you're getting it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
It's 2 bedrooms, it's 2 bathrooms, as you know, but there's a lot of family. I'm guessing not all of you are coming out at the same time.
They're all going to get a key for Christmas, or beautifully wrapped up in a box.
I'm liking this. This is
With
brilliant.
Casa Millie on. No, it's got a dishwasher.
I could show you the kitchen, but I don't want to do that. I want to take us straight up to the solarium.
All right.
I
Yeah.
want to talk parties. I want to talk entertaining. And I want to talk a bit of sunbathing. Come on.
All right, let's go.
Right. Our solarium.
Wow.
How about basking up here in the
This
sunshine?
room up here. Yeah.
It's not bad, is it? You lost the
Can't
words here.
speak.
Really?
Sorry.
No, it's lovely.
I'm mentally putting where all the furniture is.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't feel that this is actually Casa Millie. I can imagine
Yeah.
and see us here and enjoying it and the grandchildren, and it will mean so much joy for so many people.
Yeah.
My mother would love this type of property.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is her type of property, the type that she liked.
Quite
It's
a
so
big thing.
reassuring to know that.
Do you want to head back inside and have a good look around? Okay.
Do you mind?
Yeah, and just take your time, and
Thank
I'll
you,
meet you at
Ben.
the front when
Okay.
you.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Great. Now, I mean, this was such a more of an unusual episode that from the word go, once you'd seen Property One, it was kind of no contest, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
What's the
kind
jam?
of.
What's the jam?
I knew we'd done these sort of the intro bit on the front at Santiago, and I recognised it. I remembered walking down there with my dad on one of our epic Sunday lunches. So I was already intrigued. And then I remember standing outside the property. I'd not even gone in, and I just said, "This is the one. This is everything about it felt right."
Well, it did for you, yeah.
Yeah.
I was there going, yeah, this is it. This is the one and everything. And my thought was, wow, this is great. Well, the other 4 are going to be like,
Yeah.
I was sort of expecting this is really good. So the next 4 could be even better than this. Yeah. So
Well, often they are, but then sometimes you can't beat if you get it right first time with
Yeah.
That's exactly
They
what
did.
happened.
well,
Yeah.
what it did for us, that first one, was give us a tick in the box we didn't know we wanted,
Yeah.
because it was only 10-minute walk to the beach.
right.
We'd never thought about that. We'd always thought with our budget, we probably have to come inland. So we'd never thought about the beach. But that one, seeing that, what it was, the townhouse, that everything we wanted, and being close to the beach, was suddenly there was a tick in the box there that actually we want to be close to the beach. So
And,
to have that, then.
and also, you want to see, even if you felt that was the right, you want to see what the others are in case, just to
Yeah,
have your
yeah.
decision confirmed, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
of
yeah,
course.
that's exactly what happened. So sometimes I wish that would have been the 5th property, rather, because I was just totally spoilt from seeing that. And also, we met a lot of the neighbours. It should actually be called Calasan Chorley, because from Lancashire.
Oh, really? We've got a little expat hotspot.
Oh, what? And they were just so lovely and so friendly. And it just felt right. I just knew it was the right thing to do.
And Bill, were you most also slightly keen on, was it Property 3?
I can't remember what that was now.
That was in Algorta.
Property 3 was the Formentera del Segura. But I got the impression you were slightly tempted with that one. But I mean, really, it was only.
I tried to keep everything open. The first one, everything was measuring against it, and some of them, the one that was a project was well out of it.
Yes.
Some had a lot of the things we were looking for, but not as many as number one. And that's why I was trying to compare them with, are they giving us everything we got with number one, or giving us more or less? And some things got close to it, but there was always that beach, that 10-minute walk to beach, because like I said earlier, having experience of being around Marmanor, I love that area, and I love to be able to walk down to the prom and having a walk along the promenade there. So that factor was the winner in many ways. Yeah. Nothing could get near that.
And it's the feeling that you get when you walk. It's a bit like buying a property, isn't it? You have to have the feel. And I instinctively knew that house had been really loved and well looked after. And equally, this isn't just a holiday home for us. It's our second home. And that's exactly what we've done with it. It was just totally right from the onset. Brilliant. I wanted to actually buy it that afternoon, but Bill wouldn't let me.
Well, you did. There wasn't much negotiation in the end. Your offer was accepted, wasn't it? Because you knew. And so tell us how long did it take to buy it after the programme?
Well, after the programme, we had the estate agent, Danny, his details. So later on that afternoon, once we got back to the hotel, I gave him a call just to make contact and had a small chat with him about where we go next. Yeah. And he got in touch with me, I think, for the Friday about the lawyer, a recommended lawyer, etc., etc. So we built up a rapport and a relationship there. I got the lawyer on side. We had everything done. So I just kept that contact going, which I think is essential. One of the things you've got to do afterwards is
don't leave things.
Don't sit there and just wait for things to happen. It's up to you then. You've got to go out and push it. So I made the push and got things going and made contact with the lawyer, and we had a bit of negotiation discussions on fees, etc., on what the process was, what the things we needed to do, and everything needed to be put in place. And that's one of the things that I think to anybody, when you buy a place in property in Spain, you've got to be prepared. There's a lot of things you may not think of that you've got to do. One of the first things we had to do was sort out a power of attorney, so our lawyer could do it, because of the impact of Brexit and the fact that we can't be there all the time, allowing him to process a lot of the documentation. But to get that power of attorney, they have to send it to you. You have to go through a notary here in UK.
Yes.
You have to have it notarized and then an apostille added to it and then sent it back. You're trying to get all this done. Some things you've never thought of and never dealt with ever before. So it's all totally new, but you've got to sort of face all these things and just plow your way through it and get into it and get that done. And then that just allows the lawyer then to start the process. And then you have all the other things happening. So everything happens very quick. It did for us.
Yeah, it did for us.
And having all that power of attorney, everything sorted. And then we got the contracts sent to us. We had to go through the contracts. Then we had to put deposits down and everything else. And then
that was the scary bit.
The scariest bit is when you transfer your money to an unknown place.
Because you're actually doing all the things you've always been told not to.
Well, you got your lawyer involved. You say you did that, right?
But you don't know these people. You know there's a lawyer, and he gives you a bank account number, and the whole thing is always be safe. Don't give it to people you've never met in person and you don't know.
So we did.
Yeah.
But presumably you had a lawyer that was sort of recommended by one of our reputable agents that you happen to know who you brought through. Yeah.
I mean, looking back, it was actually seamless, and it was no more than 3 months. It's about 12 weeks, wasn't it?
Probably wasn't even that.
And
considering we was July the 8th.
Yeah, when we put the offer in.
Thursday when we put the offer in, and we completed on September the 13th.
That's not bad, is it? No.
No.
And Jan, you had such a feeling that you were definitely going to get on the show with the screen test. Did you have the same feeling that after the TV program, when you were filming, that you were definitely going to end up buying? Do you have this?
Yes. I did.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I know.
If I want something, I get it. If I know it's right in my heart, which I knew it was right, it was the right thing to do. And now, I mean, I don't know if you've got the photographs, but we've got Casa Millie up in tiles above the front door. And that was a beautiful moment.
And as it was all, in the programme, it was the search for Casa Millie, really, dedicated to
your mother.
Yeah. So one of the first things we did, we had a photograph of the two of us outside when we first arrived and got the keys. And then a little 2 weeks later, we'd had the Casa Millie put above the door and everything. So we had another picture of us both underneath Casa Millie sign.
Oh, so what else have you done to it? What did it come furnished? What?
Now there's a story. The furniture, in the nicest possible sense, wasn't to our taste.
Mm-hmm.
Some was, but most of it we needed to really.
Things in the lounge.
Yeah.
So not to our taste. So we actually worked with Danny, the estate agent. He knew some places to get charity shops and things that would take that stuff away. So we worked with him right up to the last minute. And just before we went to get the keys, he had all the stuff that we listed to him. He had all that taken away and taken to charity shops. So when we got there, the lounge was pretty much empty. Most of it had been cleared out. Some of it some bits and pieces were still there.
But we'd had the lorry,
removal.
The removal company. They were just incredible.
They'd come a couple of weeks earlier, loaded the wagon and taken it away.
Wow.
So we arrived on the Monday afternoon, got the keys, etc. We had Monday night there. 8:30 Tuesday morning, the wagon was sat outside the house.
Are we allowed to say the company or not, or is that not allowed?
Why not? If they did a great job.
In English, his name's Ian Knock. Spanglish. Yeah, that's it. But Ian was absolutely fantastic. You just could not fault him. And I remember on the Tuesday morning, sitting outside having breakfast, thinking, oh, we'll have to stay in all day. We can wait for the van. And I heard this beep, 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 and I ran in my nightie. Street saying and then, much to the amusement of the neighbours, they were watching all these shenanigans. We didn't even get changed. I was shifting boxes in my nightie.
Oh, that's the excitement. So this was September, yes, because when you went out to complete and do all this. So did you get a van of yours? You brought some bits from Chorley over to furnish the living room, particularly.
Mainly, yeah.
Yeah, I had a house in Bolton that I sold, and fortunately we liked the same sorts of colours and furniture, so we kept all Bill's furniture here, and all my furniture went in the garage downstairs. And then just shipped it all out to Spain. And
wow.
So the other good thing is that when you walk into Casa Millie, every piece of furniture has a little story. It's got a bit of history, and it just looks like a home, doesn't it?
Well, it looks like our home now.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
So you don't really need to do much else to it, do you, at the moment?
No.
No.
No. We're thinking about a few projects, but we're only in negotiation stage.
It's early days. We'll be back there next week, and we'll sort of settle down again and have a look round. The first trip was very much the celebration and getting things in and just getting our feet settled. Now it's go out there and sort of like, all right, what do we need to do? What do we think? What changes might we need to make? Are we really bothered about X, Y, and Z now? And just get a more homely feel to it now.
And Bill, something people are always very keen to ask is sort of how much are the running costs for the property? Do you have an idea of how much the?
We do.
It's hard to say at this moment because it's only been a month.
Yes.
And we've only just got the direct debit set up with the utilities. But I have, due to, I had a visit from the administrators of the community.
Yes.
Yeah. To advise me that barbecues were not allowed on the front terrace.
Yeah.
Oh. Because you had one, presumably.
Several. Yeah.
Every other night at first. Yeah.
Oh.
Took that. You're allowed to do it on the sun terrace on the roof.
Oh, okay. Phew.
Not downstairs because all the smoke blows up to across all the neighbours, which is fair enough. Understand that.
Yeah.
Well, one of the advantage from that visit was that she sent me all the rules and things about the property and the area, and it's a breakdown of all the charges. So I managed to get the community fees, if you like, of what they are and what the expenses that are up and coming and the committee have agreed on. Things like the swimming pool is going to have another chlorine treatment facility added to it. So, and how that cost is going to be broken down and how it's going to be spread amongst all the residents and over what period. So I've been building up the picture. I haven't got there yet. I know roughly the community fees. I'm still trying to work on, because our lawyer is so busy going through lots of purchases of properties. We haven't quite got to what the council tax equivalent, the IBIS.
Yes.
That side of things. We haven't got that, but I've got an idea of how it is. So things are just coming together at the moment, really.
Community charges are generally only roughly sort of, for a property like yours, sort of usually not more than €50 a month.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, somewhere in the 600 region, something like that. Yeah. And likewise, I've seen how much the gas, electric and water is probably is relatively low as well. So I don't think it's going to be expensive.
You're not going to get any nasty shocks because council tax is quite low from what I've heard. Yeah.
No, it seems pretty reasonable. We didn't go into this with rose-coloured glasses on. We've done, Bill in particular had done quite a lot of research. So I don't think we're going to get any nasty shocks. If anything, I think we're actually going to get pleasant ones.
Oh.
One of the things we had to sort out through the lawyer, and one of the things that the power of attorney doesn't give you, even though it says it can, is the bank account.
Oh.
Even though the power of attorney allows your lawyer to set up and create a bank account, the banks don't acknowledge that. They want you to sit down there for an hour and go through all the forms and sign all the forms off everything else.
23 pieces of paper to sign.
So that's a long drawn out process, that one.
Yeah.
But that was the clincher, really. Once we had a bank account, we could set up everything else. So one of the very first things we did was get the internet connected. Getting the bank account allowed us to set that direct debit up. So that had been sorted. It allowed other things to happen. It has allowed the lawyer now to continue and do the direct debits, as I said, with the water and the electricity. So they're just about completed. So everything else is falling on the back of that bank account. And now we've got the bank card as well. It's easy for us to transfer money out there.
Yeah.
straight from our account into that account, and we just use the cars over there, so we don't have to keep changing money here and taking euros with us.
And we've got our NIE numbers as well, which is really, really important.
Yes.
Because you can't get, what we didn't realise was, you can't get house insurance or anything like that until you have got an NIE number.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, to have an uninsured, if there's a hold up with that number, I think people need to be really well aware of that.
It's not impossible. You can do it. We did it.
I was going to say, I think you might be able to get an NIE number before you actually purchase, but someone might contradict me on that. But I know that being prepared is as you've already said, Bill, is really key.
Yeah, you could. NIE numbers were, I wouldn't say readily available before, but a lot easier. But now that Brexit's happened, everybody who was over there without an NIE number
is going for one.
So everybody's trying to get an NIE number. The police stations have just closed down and said no more. We have
the last appointment
in that region. Both Cartagena police station and Murcia police station have stopped NIE numbers.
Gosh, that's something to
people do
be aware of
that. Yeah.
And you mentioned you're going out next week again, which is very exciting. But that's actually as a result, because Jan, you're frontline NHS, and you probably should have been working, shouldn't you? But you managed to pick up COVID on your last trip. You just
I am fairly convinced that I actually got it at Manchester Airport on the way back. But Manchester, we're queuing at when I look back, and I got it very, very badly, which was quite a shock. So I am still recuperating. I get very, very tired. But what better place to recuperate than going out to Spain? But obviously the Spanish, the difference with the Spanish is that they're incredibly respectful towards COVID infection. You go in all the supermarkets, everybody's wearing a mask, everybody's socially distancing. I would say that the Spanish are wholly responsible for how they conduct themselves. Whereas I think over here, people seem to think it's gone away. Let me assure you that it hasn't, because I was actually I'd say I had 4 days where I was really, really worried about how ill I was. And I'm a toughie, and it knocked the stuffing out of me. So socially distancing, masks, it doesn't matter where you are. And I think in looking back, how could I have worked through the pandemic and then just picked it up? And I definitely picked it up at the airport, without doubt.
Gosh, well, I'm glad you're okay. And how long are you going out on this trip?
I'm going out for just a week. You're going out for a bit longer, aren't you?
I'm going to have 3.5 weeks.
Lovely. I imagine you're playing some golf.
Yes, I did last time I was there. I had the clubs in me and managed 5 rounds. So I'm taking the clubs this time. Danny's arranged a golf. There's a golf society day, playing with him on the 27th as well. So, and I've got some friends who are staying at Marmanor Golf Resort. I met one of them last time when I played there. We had a beer together afterwards, and hopefully we'll get together with him this time. And there's somebody else who's going to be out there for a week in their place on Marmanor as well.
It's a bit early for the family to come out yet, isn't it? But I imagine you've got big plans.
My oldest son is wanting to go at Easter, because obviously they've got 2 young children. And they're particularly interested in the sailing school in Santiago. The kids love the water, so I think they'll definitely be out at Easter. And I just think we're just going to get there whenever we can. It's not going to be. Some people buy a holiday home and they go out 3 times a year. We're just going to be there as much as we can.
Brilliant. You just have to keep a tab on your 90 days, don't you? With the rules.
And that is something to think about, to plan And obviously, if you look at the airfares during school holidays, they absolutely rocket.
Yeah.
Outside of school holidays, you can get some really, really good deals. The minute a week inside of the school holiday, before and after, is absolutely, it just goes through the roof.
Yeah, no, I know that only too well, sadly. But but at least your family can say, they might have to pay those expensive airfares, but you know they've got a place they can save on the accommodation. So you've really opened up some great opportunities for your family, and that was the whole point, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just little things, and it sounds daft, but it's just having the washing machine, having the freezer,
Dishwasher.
Dishwasher. That sold the house. And it really, one of the nicest things, this is going to sound really daft, I made a roast chicken dinner, and we sat outside on the terrace having a roast chicken dinner, and it was just so enjoyable. It was just fabulous.
I'm not sure we'll be able to do it this time.
No.
Well, it's going to be still quite warm, isn't it, there?
Yeah.
But cooler in the evenings.
Yeah. And get this, I've got a shopping trolley with little wheels.
Oh. What, do you not have one of those in Chorley?
No, you got to be a bit Spanish, haven't you? And the shopping trolley is the butt of many jokes.
Okay.
I just love it, and off I go. You know, it's fabulous. And just the like round the corner, there's a camper park, and every Friday they get together and they play booth.
Yeah. In French, it's booths.
Like pétanque. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it's pétanque. Yeah. 5 o'clock.
Oh, brilliant! So are you going to have a go of that?
I do. Yeah, I've already got a set. Because Colin Ballard, who lives over the road, we got very friendly with him, and he said after we'd been there, he said, "Oh, Friday, pétanque at the trailer park."
Yeah.
So it's a nice place there to sit. They serve food and things. So you can have a drink, have a chill out, and there's quite a few of the neighbours get together and we all play pétanque.
And we're going to learn Spanish, but we're properly serious about it. In fact, Bill ordered a book, and it reminds me of the Janet and John reading books because it's got little cartoons in it. That arrived yesterday, so going to do a bit of that. I've started aqua aerobics.
Well, brilliant.
So I'm really going to get that going, and anybody that lives in the block that wants to learn to swim, I will be offering swimming lessons free of charge.
Not at the moment, because
not at the moment because the pool's a bit cold.
Yeah.
But sort of after Easter, I want to get the aqua aerobic classes going, and because you'd be amazed at the amount of people that can't swim, particularly in our age group. And you're just missing out on so much. So get that going, because it's a really community thing, and you never know from doing something like that what else can happen.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like you're really throwing yourselves into it, which is fantastic. I mean, do you see, depending on what happens with the the rules as well evolving post Brexit, do you see yourself ever living full time out there, or not?
Well, Jan says yes, but I'm not convinced yet.
I'm working on it.
There are lots of reasons why I'd rather keep both.
Yeah.
And my feeling is Brexit is what it is, and the rules are not going to change very much, if at all. They're not going to make a special case of UK. We only get the rules apply to everybody who's non-EU member now. They're not going to make a special case of the UK, especially as we've sort of jumped out and we don't give them all that money anymore.
I mean, you can get the 12-month non-working visa.
Well, I was going to suggest, you could. I've spoken to a lot of people who have applied for that, and that's for people when you're retired, Jan. That might be an option, because if you've got a reasonable amount of level of pension income or savings, then you could do that. So
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't rule that out. But I think the main thing over there is to build up. Yeah, I think some people can go down a very dangerous route of being permanently on holiday, which, you know, too much alcohol, too much sun, too much of really things that don't do your body a lot of good. And the secret is to think about the Spanish lessons, that we're going to get bikes, aren't we, and cycle rides, and just do lots of really things that we don't do over here.
Yeah, because you said in the episode you want to be really become really fit. I mean, that was part of the outdoor lifestyle. Yeah. That's part of your big plan, isn't it?
Very much so. Lockdown has seen me put on quite a lot of weight, which I'm not happy with. And whilst I've lost some of it due to COVID, I've lost about 12 pounds and I feel so much better for that loss. I want to keep that off and I want to shift another stone. Now, the only way I'm going to do it is healthy eating, no processed stuff, having the time to cook over there, and going for fresh produce, walking to the supermarket, getting the fresh produce, and the market's at the end of the road, and it's absolutely fantastic.
That made that sound really good. Ask her about the first time she used the hob. When we talk about cooking, this was the funniest thing ever. Of course, we arrive the Monday night, come the Tuesday night, we want to cook something. It's an induction hob.
Right.
Instructions on how to do it, and none of us had ever had experience of using an induction hob before.
So, and it was in Spanish, I presume.
Yeah, well, there were no instruction book or anything. There was nothing. Yeah. It was sort of.
We had to.
There was, but you couldn't really make it out. So we're trying to. If we'd have had time to sit back and think beforehand and read the instructions, we might have had a little bit of an idea. But trying to do it on the hoof and trying to do it while you're trying to cook things. Bill, how do you turn this on? Bill, how do you turn that on? And I'm like, no idea.
You actually have to put.
So then we had to go. Then we had to go next door. I think the one side of us is a Ukrainian guy. I can't remember his name now. And I managed to speak to him, and he came round to have a look, and he started trying, and he couldn't do, because I wondered if everybody had the same hob, and obviously they didn't.
Oh gosh.
So he came across, and then Colin from over the road, he came across as well. So he had a kitchen full of people trying to find how you actually switch this hob on and get one of the rings to start boiling water. And we couldn't work it out. And then there was our friend Dan was stood in the back on a phone looking on YouTube, and she came up with it. So it was quite comical.
You have to have special pans.
Well, you don't.
And if you don't put the pan on the hob, it doesn't come on.
Yeah, I've had a nightmare with them like you, and I don't really get on with them, but clearly.
Yeah. Towards the end of the stay, I actually, I got it.
Brilliant.
But what we do need to do is a Casa Millie introduction book. Yes. Because I can just imagine, somebody coming in, and just for instance, the lights tripped one night, didn't they?
Yeah.
So we need.
Where's the fuse? Yes.
I think that's going to be an absolute must. But it was, looking back, it wasn't funny at the time, but looking back, it's funny now.
Well, you've clearly managed to make a nice roast chicken from what you said. So you've mastered the cooking. Well, look, we're running out of time here, but thank you so much for sharing all that. And we must have, maybe you could give us a bit of a YouTube tour of a little, WhatsApp video call of Casa Millie when you go back.
Oh yes, we'd love to.
Well, look, I'm so glad everything's worked out so brilliantly. Thank you for sharing that, and you've given us a few tips and listeners a few things to think about there. One final thought, a piece of advice for people watching this and thinking, oh, that sounds idyllic.
My piece of advice would be go into it having done the research rather than going into it and being blown away by what you see, because what you see isn't always the whole picture. So really, really do your research. I would. It's great. It's fantastic. It's the best thing that's probably ever happened to us. But do that research without doubt. What about you? What would you say?
Be ready for afterwards when there's a whirlwind of things to happen that you've never come across before, and you probably know you've thought about. You wouldn't understand what you've got to do. But there's a lot of things. Just be prepared. You've got to spend a lot of time.
But don't let it put you off, is the bottom line.
No, don't let it put you off. And
there might be lots of things, but you'll get through it. It's nothing difficult. Everything's pretty straightforward.
Do you know what I'd really love to do? I would love to invite Ben Hilllman and the film crew back for afternoon tea at Casa Millie.
Well, that might be able to be arranged, and because it is a popular area, there might be some episodes, they might be filming again that are there. So I'll put it out there. So
and of course they'd have to have an aqua aerobic lesson.
Oh, right, putting it out there. Okay. All right. Well, look, thank you both, Jan and Bill. That's brilliant. Take care and best of luck with Casa Millie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.